What up, y'all? It's your girl, Tiffany Evans, and I got my progress report on the progress report.
Progress report. Yeah, progress report. News, interviews. Tune into the progress report. Keep watching the progress report. Tune into the progress report. Lalaa, boss Britt, eXeL. Know when you progress, gotta
The progress report.
All right, what's going on? It's your girl, Lalaa Shepard.
Boss Britt the most lit.
What's up? It's DJ eXeL.
Okay, this is the Progress Report podcast. Y'all see who we got? The one and only Miss Tiffany Evans. Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
I ain't have no bell.
You can ring too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, this is so amazing. You know, salute to GoTo for setting this up as well.
Shout out to GoTo.
Shout out to GoTo.
You know, we all collectively are fans. And, you know, we definitely are just thankful to have you here. We're going to have a great time. So thank you for being here.
I'm ready to laugh. Y'all.
Absolutely. Okay, so, you know, Tiffany, you've been in the game for a long time. You have written a lot of music. You have put out, you know, a lot of music as well. Of course, we know the Promise Ring song, you know, acting.
Yes.
Independent now.
Independent now.
Yes.
And loving it. And also probably going to go back into, we get in there later.
Okay. and the new single is a fucking bop. Would you?
Woo!
Yeah.
It's giving real feel
Yeah.
I be in the shower like, okay.
I gotta keep it PG. I have so many things I want to say about Lalaa.
I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
But no, we are definitely humbled to have you here.
Thank
so
you
we are
for
going to have
having
some fun.
Yeah.
We got this pop quiz with Boss Britt, so we're going to get into it.
Let's get into it. So it's a
Yes.
pop quiz, something real cute, multiple choice.
Okay.
Now, normally if you would have gotten it wrong, you would have took a shot.
I mean, it ain't too late. It ain't
It's
too
not
late,
too late,
sis.
though. You know, it's just, like I told you, I missed my nail appointment, so I've been trying not to raise
The
my
good thing-
hand.
I know that's why you said you didn't want to drink because you ain't got your nails done.
Hey, girls so smart.
It ain't never that deep.
But you
She been like,
But I mean, now that I said it,
I dry the boat. I dry the boat.
now that I said it, I
Yeah.
think I'm cool now. 'Cause
Right.
everybody
Put a reposado out. Put a reposado out.
All right, let's get that out of her face.
Good
Thank
with
you,
the,
eXeL. Okay, let's get it with the questions, Britt.
All right,
What we
let's
got?
get into it. All right, so first question. Who was the first woman to win the ASCAP Songwriter of the Year award for R&B? Is it A, Missy Elliott, B, Beyonce, C, Candy Burris, or D, Lauryn Hill?
That's tough.
Ooh.
If you know you be writing them songs, so do you know your history?
You know what I'm saying? I might not. No, I feel like it would be between maybe Missy or Candy.
Okay.
Or, Lauren.
That's a good no.
girl, you just said 3 out of 4.
Okay,
you
I'm
gotta be
one.
quick with
I'm
that
one.
No,
Look,
look,
that's our phone a friend.
I'm a friend.
they don't know. You can tell. Look, they like,
Yeah, that's your language.
Okay, so, but you know what? I'm going to go for the surprise.
Okay. Who the surprise?
Maybe Beyonce.
Ooh.
Who is it?
It is Miss Candy Burris.
Oh, you had it!
You did.
Conda, but not today.
Yeah, next
wait.
question. Come on.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Look at the shot. Look.
Just take a little sip. No.
No, we ain't trying to get you like wasted. No.
Right.
We having a good
It's a day
time.
party.
We got to get this right.
That part look good.
So let's keep it moving. All right, next question. What was Destiny's Child first #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100? Is it A, Say My Name, B, Bills, 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 C,
Bills, Bills.
Survivor, or D, Jumpin', Jumpin'?
Ooh.
That was my shit.
I know. I'm here like,
I'm going to be honest. I think it was... Ooh, Jumpin' Jumpin' was crazy.
Yeah.
For real. We was young as hell, like, ladies, leave your head down. Yeah. Young as hell, like, why am I singing that? It's crazy.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
That's tough.
Shit.
That's tough.
Can I curse?
Yeah. Can we cuss? Because, girl, I'm holding it in.
All right.
Okay.
You got the babies in
For
the
the
back.
fam, yes.
Please don't get this wrong, girl. I want to say between Survivor and Jumping.
I'm gonna need you to pick one.
Okay.
Ooh.
Jumping.
That is incorrect. It was Bills.
Come on,
I
Tiff.
get all this wrong. Like,
Come on, Tiff.
maybe I'm getting it wrong on purpose.
Give me that.
We said it
Give me that. Type shit. I'll fuck with that. All right, last question.
Come on, Tiff.
Damn,
You're
Girl,
doing
you
great
suck.
as far as the shots. All right, you're doing great
You suck,
there.
girl.
Okay.
You suck, girl.
Last
got
question. Who was the youngest solo artist to top the Billboard Hot 100 before Billie Eilish broke the record? Is it A, Brandy, B, Monica, C, Aaliyah, or D, Rihanna?
This is a hard. I'm
You
not gonna
said
lie. This is hard.
Billboard.
Yeah, solo artist to top the Billboard Hot 100 before Billie Eilish broke the
Yeah,
record.
not
Yeah,
the
these-
boy
The
is
youngest.
mine.
These are tough.
The youngest.
These are tough questions.
A, Brandy, B, Monica, C, Aaliyah, or D, Rihanna?
Before Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
Right.
that's tough.
Which means that record wasn't broke for a very long time.
Time.
Facts.
Just
I'ma
the
say-
youngest. The
I think
youngest.
Brandy.
That's not right.
What?
Monica!
Monica?
The way that you do it to me.
Brandy
Hey.
and Monica.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Hit
you
that
know,
no, bitch.
okay? 'Cause you know she was like 15 years old. She had the Monica 99s on.
Hey.
Hey,
Damn.
Lala got those same shoes that
I
she
got
had
it
on.
all
that-
wrong. But I still love R&B.
No, for
That
real.
part. That
Go
part.
back to Billboard.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that part.
Nah, you did good.
But I love the music,
So,
though.
part.
3 for 3 shots.
That
All
part.
right, that's an A+ up here at the progress report. Okay?
Now,
I love that.
we was speaking about just young stars and all that good stuff. You were definitely young as hell
Yes.
doing this. I just want to know, man, on the "Let Me Be Your Angel" song, who the hell was you singing to?
You know what, y'all? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I just feel like at that time, they really wanted me to. I don't know what they wanted to do. I felt like they just wanted to showcase my voice. You know,
Right.
The vocals was vocaling, baby.
But
No,
I'm gonna
for
be honest.
sure.
I really I saw a different vision for myself. Even being younger, I was like, man, I know that they're trying to figure out my lane and what I should sing about because I'm only 11.
young as hell.
You know what I'm saying?
Think about God.
Yeah, think about God.
No, it was
Hey,
about
no,
a
no,
person.
that was about love.
Like,
Yeah,
and
it
then, you
was
know
a
what I
love
really
song.
didn't like though? When I was in the music video, I hated that fedora. I hated that fedora. I don't know if y'all.
yes.
Yo, I plan on wearing them when I get about 50 years old.
Them church shoes.
Yes.
Baby,
Killing it.
like
They had the Monica board up probably as the inspo.
I don't know if Monica wore that.
That's
You know
funny.
what's crazy is when you're young and you got a crazy voice that's so strong.
What do you do?
How can you show it
Yeah.
without singing something emotional?
And
Yeah.
can I get a little deep though? Like, I was so depressed during that time because I saw a different vision for myself. But I didn't understand at the time that I had to grow into that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, I see myself dancing and singing and then doing this kind of music where, I'm inspired by Whitney and I'm inspired by, Beyonce and Jennifer Lopez. But I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm like, well, I can't sing about it now. They're making songs for me, but it's like,
That's insane.
yeah. So I'm depressed because I'm like, okay, am I ever gonna get there? And I think I tried to rush the process a little bit because I'm so young, which is why I would never for my kids, if they say they want to do music, they have to be 18.
Look, I know you guys are tuned into the episode, but I need you to like and subscribe to our channel right now. Let's go. And you know what?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
That's fair.
I
I
respect
think
that.
what's dope about that is sometimes when you're so young, you're either stuck in that. People, it's hard to see people see artists transition from a kid to even with Lotto. People have a hard time. I don't know how.
Right.
But
It's a grown ass man.
and you know,
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Bow Wow, he's still performing those hits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where he kind of transitioned a little bit into his young 20s, but that's so true. I think if you got that talent in the background, you can build your artistry.
You really can.
But it's even though you probably want it now at 12, and you got the potential.
I wanted it so bad, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to Usher. Everybody knows. When I was signed to Columbia, they knew I love Usher. Okay, still to this day.
Yes,
He's my number one.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm listening to Usher, listening to the album Down. Confessions is just on repeat. And I'm like,
That's
oh my
funny.
gosh, like I just want to do this type of music and I just see this for myself. But they keep giving me cover songs and then they making me sing this. And it's like, it's not making sense. But I feel like around the time of Promise Ring, it changed.
Okay.
They started seeing me like, mature a little bit. They're like, okay, we could play with her. But then they dropped the ball, so.
Wow.
So how they drop the ball? What would you say?
So we had, and shout out to everybody a part of that project and during that time of my, career. I just feel like they made it so obvious. When I did Promise Ring, it was like it was doing really, really well, and I did the Scream Fest tour. And so we're on tour and it's on 106 Park, it's doing great numbers. I'm like, okay, great. So then we decide to drop another single. And it's I'm Grown featuring Bow Wow.
Right.
So I'm like, I begged. I said, I don't want this song to be dropped. Not that it isn't a good song. Like, we have some great writers on the record. Rodney Jerkins produced the record.
Wow.
We got Bow Wow featured on the record. I'm like, okay, that's great, y'all. But I personally feel like you just don't say that you're grown.
Yeah.
You know?
And how old were you?
I was 15.
Oh man.
I was like, yeah, clock that T.
Yeah.
You just don't say that you're grown.
Right.
You just, you
And
do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You grow up, people watch you grow up, you start experiencing life, and then they take it for what it is. They're like, oh, that's a grown woman now.
Yeah.
But when you're going everywhere like,
15.
hey, I'm grown.
Right.
I'm grown now. Baby, you're not.
yeah.
And so I was like, I just felt like it was not going to be received well. And so, not that it was like a bad song, but more so on the end of, oh, that's what a child would do, is announce that they're grown because they're 15.
That's a
Like,
fact.
you know, but we had this one record though, y'all, called Lay Back and Chill. It was produced by Hit Boy.
Okay.
Not a hit boy.
Shout out to Hit Boy.
Yeah.
Yo, everybody loved that record. Shout out to Sean Bankhead. He used to be my dancer and choreographer.
Because he was in Promise Ring.
Yes, he was.
And I didn't find that out till
Yes.
later, and I went back like, yo, that is him, because he looked so
Yeah.
different.
We used to link up all the time. Okay, we travel, go do a spot date, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Lay Back and Chill. We need to." I remember we were so inspired. We came up with some choreo in a hotel room to perform at the show.
Wow.
And I'm like, I just love this record so much. He's like, Tiffany, this record's the one. They decided to go for I'm Grown. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all, like, this is a perfect transition. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not announcing it, you're just growing into it. You feel me?
Right.
And I just felt like it just was unrealistic. And so it was a disconnect. And that was that. Like, of course I stayed signed, but it was just so much, y'all. Like, I was just disappointed in the process of them, because I just felt like they would think, like, okay, how do we make her growing up more natural? Because she did grow up already in front of, the world. So, like, how do we just, transition her into being a young lady, like, how do we do that? Okay, we got Promise Ring, but how do we continue that conversation? And that's how I feel like they dropped the ball.
Damn.
That's
we
deep.
still here.
That's
Okay.
deep, right.
We back outside.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I'll pop back out, It's some years, but
It's a lot to unpack though, really,
Yeah.
because like the first thing that I kind of paid attention to, they got you singing that "Let Me Be Your Angel" song that young.
yes.
Is that grooming? Like, that's crazy.
And they do that with a lot of like kid singers. Like, even when I think about like Usher or like
it's
Aaliyah, like they
so
were
sexual.
young
Yeah.
singing.
Sexual,
Yes.
intimate song.
Yes.
But 11 is like,
11
I
is
think Monica
crazy.
said like, don't take it personal. I think that was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's
different.
like a
Teenager.
15,
You're a
15.
teenager.
11 is
Let Me Be Your
definitely-
the lyrics in that song is just like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, even like Michael Jackson, when he did, he was like 5 years old singing "I Want You Back." You know what I'm saying? And Never Can Say Goodbye.
True.
It's the same
true.
song.
That is crazy.
But I
And you
ain't
feeling
gonna
that shit
lie,
too,
y'all.
like.
But maybe they made it feel fun where that seems so serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
It
when you
was
listen to
serious.
like "I Want You
Love
Back,"
pop.
like it still
Y'all.
sounds fun and like you can see kids performing.
Yeah, like playing.
She
playing in
was
the playground.
walking sad down the street.
Like, I'm in love, bro.
It was
Like,
an emotional record. Like, damn.
And the crazy thing is, it's like, I'm sitting here like, man, these people don't believe that I know what to do. Like, I know what the formula should be, but I'm like, I can't say nothing because every time I say something, everybody's like, oh, you're just a kid. What do you know? Like, just go do your work. And all I did was do my work. But the thing is like, that's why I wanted, this is the reason why I became independent. It wasn't that I couldn't get another deal. I was actually offered a buyout. I'm not going to say who, but it was from another major. And I said no, because it's like, I'm 18. I don't know, like, how to handle nothing. Like, I'm on my own, literally. I don't have my parents anymore. I don't have the old management that I had anymore. Like, I'm literally left out here for the wolves. So, am I going to go to another label? And at the time in my mind, I'm like, okay, if the first one didn't know what to do with me, I'm 18 years old. I'm still thinking.
Traumatized.
I'm traumatized. Like, oh my gosh, like, if I go to another label, they're not going to know what to do with me. And I'm just like, so I got to find myself first, prove to them that I know who I am, and then go back. But even that was a process. And so it's just like, you just got to kind of, I just wanted to learn for myself. That's why I'm independent. That's why I became independent, is because I needed to learn for myself. I was jaded by being signed. I was signed for over 10 years.
Wow.
And the first several years, it was just them having me record. And I'm like, I'm just depressed. I am depressed. Like, y'all, it was so bad. It was to the point of, like, I'm contemplating, like, suicide because at a very young age. And I'm writing in my diary. My mom, she picks up my diary. She's like,
wow.
She's like, you thinking these things? And I'm like, you know, she was like, Tiffany, like, what is going on? Because I always went to do my shows and come back home. Just because you go do a show doesn't mean that you popping. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel popping. Like, even though I was doing Promise Ring, I just felt like nothing was consistent, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I got Promise Ring, but I know I'm so much more than Promise Ring. And I'm not getting to do that. Before then, I wasn't getting to do what I wanted. So I'm just like, man, I got signed when the Jonas Brothers got signed. So I'm like, I'm seeing them shoot up. I'm seeing people that I got signed the same year I got signed. I'm like, okay, we all got signed together. We're going to shoot up together.
You comparing yourself to your peers.
I'm comparing myself to my peers. And I'm like, okay, damn, they shot up.
That's
and that will mess up your self-esteem, and especially when you know you can sing. And I think that's the thing with artists too,
really
right?
Sing,
Right. And I think
blow it down.
Like when we see somebody that can sing, we're like, why they ain't make it yet? Because they can really blow, and other people that can't really sing, might be going up, and that gotta mess with you, like.
And then also the people around you too, y'all. Like when you, this is why I wouldn't. And I'm not saying, like, if my children, they want to say, oh, I want to sing. I'm going to be around. But at the same time, like, I had my parents around. Now, they didn't really know much. So sometimes when you enter into something, you're like, okay, my child, she has this gift. We want to showcase it to the world. So we getting in bed with everybody. Like, we going here, we going there. And it's like, sometimes it's just not the right thing to do. You think it is because everybody wants what your child has to offer. They want to exploit that. But you end up working with everybody, and some people don't have good intentions. So I'm like, my parents, and I love y'all.
Of course.
But I've already had this discussion with them that, you know, y'all made some bad decisions as well. And not that I'm like, oh, you made bad decisions. Of course. I am not who I am supposed to be, because it's like, you know, I got it off my chest. You guys made some bad decisions regarding my career and my life and all of that. Maybe it would have been different. Who knows? But people, the management was,
girl, get it off your chest.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's so much to say.
Wait, now, so
the industry
which
always
management?
messing
Because I
up
know
shit.
you had a situation with Matthew Knowles, right?
I did. So starting out, right, before I dropped Promise Ring, I had went through a series of managers. So my first manager was when I first started, right? She was flying first class and I was in coach.
Hell no.
Red
Red
flag.
flag.
Yeah, red flag. But she was flying first class
On your tab?
on my tab.
That's what I'm saying. That's red flag.
So it wasn't that if you fly first class and I can't make it there,
Something
that's
fishy.
fine.
It
You know what I'm
sounded
saying?
fishy.
But if I'm
Crazy.
if you're flying first class on my tab and I'm flying coach,
Red flag, yo.
She like, I see you in a
I
minute.
did. So, but this
No,
is
they
what,
really be like that too.
it really be like that. So I'm like, okay,
That's fucked
That's
up.
crazy.
So that we let go of that situation, right?
Yeah.
And then we go through Johnny Wright. He was managing Janet at one point. I think the Jonas Brothers as well. I move on from that. And then the first thing is this is what I heard. No Tino shade, but my first management, they turned down a deal for me to do Annie. I was originally supposed to be what's her name? I never get her name right.
I only know Annie.
But
Shit.
Willis,
That's for real.
Willis or something like that. The girl, the young lady who played Annie, most recently.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to be her. Turned out $10 million on the table, whatever. She turned it down because her husband is a filmmaker. And basically was like, okay, if you don't do my husband's film, then you're not getting Tiffany for Annie.
Wow.
That's what I heard. Then, before then, I was supposed to sign with Jay-Z.
Jigga? Rockefeller?
I was supposed to sign with Rockefeller.
Wow.
Kenny Burns. I had did Maury. This was before I got signed to Columbia. He came on the Maury show and was like, hey, Jay wants to offer you a deal at Rockefeller. My first management turned it down because she was like, Columbia sounds more fitting.
I mean, I don't know what Jay was gonna do for a kid. I ain't gonna hold
I mean, you never know.
And I don't think they had any R&B at that time.
I mean, well, not at that time.
Rockefeller, you gonna have a chain though.
A lot of females that was with Jay-Z
no promise ring.
really.
Gonna be a promise chain.
But except for like Rihanna and Tierra Marie,
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
I
okay,
really
sure.
love.
But that
how
was
they
like
did.
Rock Nation.
Yeah. That's when it. But that happened. She turned that down. So then, moving forward from her, I told you about Johnny Wright and then Jeff Robinson. Now, a lot of this was like my parents and management, and they just didn't know what to do. And so Jeff Robinson, who I love to this day, like if he had managed me, so he managed Alicia Keys, most recently her, Fantasia, K. Michelle, everybody. He's a
That's right up your
Yeah,
alley.
exactly.
Yes,
That makes
for real.
sense.
Absolutely
Definitely. I
an
agree with that
amazing
one.
legend.
Hell yeah.
He has a lot of weight behind him, like good weight. And so I felt so comfortable. Like I remember us working the first month together, and he booked me on this show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm here with everybody. Like I this is who I want to. And then it just stopped.
Why?
So I think it was like, I don't really remember, but it had something to do with my parents.
Damn.
Parents just don't understand.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was still young. And this is before Promise Ring.
Oh,
So I had like 9 lives before Promise
No,
Ring.
dead ass. I'm like, this still in the beginning of your adolescent.
So, and then, the whole Tyler Perry thing, like, we're just going to have to keep going, y'all. But, yeah, but it was a lot, like, it was a lot. I was surrounded by a lot of wolves.
Damn, girl.
I was surrounded by a lot of wolves, a lot of people that just wanted money,
And your parents, that was their first introduction to the industry.
Period.
So like,
They
come
didn't have
on,
a
there's so many things.
Like they selling them a dream, like
Absolutely.
like
And then
I
they're
can only
in their
imagine.
house. They're in these houses that they've
cannot.
never been in before.
Can only
Right.
imagine.
They're getting money that they never had before.
Hell yeah.
Able to
Imagine.
afford things that they never, was able to afford before. And so it's like, okay, no one's like coaching them through. Everybody's like, yeah, just have your daughter show up here. She's good. Have your daughter do this. She's good. But then it's like, my parents really just, what do you say? Ignorant? They just, and ignorant is not like, I know we use it in a derogatory way, but ignorance is just lack of knowledge.
Absolutely.
They didn't really have a lot of
Parents
knowledge.
would have did the same.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Girl, take that coach flight. You see where we living at?
on that bus, man.
Her fly first class.
I feel like my daddy still gonna call and be like, we wasn't ignorant.
You know dads be
Wait, what's
stubborn
your sign?
though.
What's your
You know,
sign?
Sagittarius.
Oh,
they so stubborn. It's so stubborn.
I mean, like, why would
problem.
you say that on the interview? But daddy, I love you. I love all of y'all. Like, this is just, the conversation that we already had in private,
Yeah.
and I feel like I owe it to the public because
For sure.
I grew up in front of everybody and I'm having to live this life.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm having to answer these questions
Yep.
that nobody else is going to answer for me. And this is what I tried to tell everyone. Nobody's going to answer these questions for me. I have to live this out when y'all make these decisions.
That's real.
And I'm the face of y'all's decisions,
Right.
So you got to give me some room to express what the situation was, and for a long time, a lot of people thought about themselves and didn't want me to express, not just my parents. I'm just saying, like, management. I kept a lot of people protected because
That's real.
Yeah.
when you say things, people know people. And
Especially back then, they'd try to
and they still know
gatekeep like
people
crazy.
now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that shit ain't
gatekeep now.
changed.
So I still have to keep a.
Yo, I know you're looking at this episode and you feeling it right now, but look, stop real quick and make sure y'all like, subscribe to our channel. It's the Progress Report.
God, it's crazy. It's a crazy game in this industry because there's so much you can get off your chest.
Yeah.
But then trying to like not get blackballed or just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you will in an instant, and it's just.
How was the
unfortunate.
situation with Matthew Knowles though? You ain't really.
So
We ain't even hit that part of her life yet. Damn.
We're talking about managers.
this is okay. So this was
Damn.
after Promise Ring.
Okay.
This was way after Promise Ring. I was.
You have 9 lives, no cap.
Y'all, I had 9 lives. It's like sometimes I be thinking really hard what to say and what not to say.
I get it.
Let me get this done real quick.
Yeah, she said, no, you won't say it today. You won't get this on your chest, okay?
I'm just playing.
That's the same spot though.
I just don't want anybody to be afraid of me.
Yeah.
You know, even though I know I got hurt. You feel me? I just don't want anybody to be afraid of me because I know what I'm trying to do for myself right now.
Yeah.
But I will say that I met Matthew, the label, they wanted to try again. So I'm like 16 at this point. And this was like around the time of, well, this is, like I said, after Promise Ring. So I recorded an album with the manager that I had for Promise Ring. And so I really felt secure with her, like in the sense of she knew what she was doing. But I feel like the label didn't really give her a lot of room. So I'm Grown came out, and because I felt like her vision for me was like best. That's how we got Promise Ring. I was like, okay, she gets it. Like,
okay,
I'm a teenager. She's like, okay, we got to get her. Yeah, like do something different.
Yeah.
And I really trusted that vision, and then it got blurry. So we did that, and then I'm in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta. I get emancipated.
Man, you got a mess. You asked for
oh
that?
wow.
So one day I got this phone call from my dad and then from my lawyer at the time. And he was like, yeah, Columbia, I think that they may drop you. So I'm like 15. Like,
Your dad is saying this?
My dad and then my lawyer.
You grown.
So my dad is my lawyer. So I'm like, okay, hearing it from my dad, I'm like, okay, he could be mad at my mom because they recently got divorced or whatever. And she didn't want him back. But then I'm like, then my lawyer calls. I'm like, oh, then this is serious. So they're like, yeah, it's a situation where, X, Y, and Z is, she keeps asking for money every month. And you know who X, Y, and Z might be, right? So they're like,
I'm trying to figure it out.
X, Y, and Z.
The manager.
Not the manager.
Your parent.
Your mama?
So basically,
Oh, damn.
so they're like, hey, it's just too much of a burden because she hasn't dropped a project. She did Promise Ring. We're not really bringing in any money on her. So, yeah, she got to make a choice.
And your mom and dad are like in conflict, so it's like
she's doing whatever she wants to do, and he's doing whatever he wants to do.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I've been the primary source of income for my family since I was 10.
Damn.
So if I get dropped and we living in this kind of house with this kind of rent, like my brothers and sisters, they're not gonna have anything. And I'm thinking about my brothers and sisters. I already don't spend enough time with them.
Selfless.
They already feel a way about me.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
They feel a way about me because they feel like I got so much attention, but I feel like I didn't get the right attention.
Yeah.
So they're feeling all of these different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want my relationship with them and I love them and I want to prove to them that I'm gonna work hard to get them out of.
Right.
But it was also like, yeah, Tiffany thinks she can.
Yeah.
Get whatever she wants. 'Cause I was always gone. So we move forward and I have this conversation. I'm like, oh man, okay, so what do I do? I was like, honestly, I looked up Gary Coleman. I was watching his story and I'm like, oh, he got emancipated. And I'm like, maybe I should do the same thing. That way I could take control of my career.
Right.
Okay.
But I didn't realize at the time, y'all, this is why, like, I will not let my kids in this business, even though I will be around, but who's to say what tomorrow holds, you know?
Right.
But I was like, you know, I will get emancipated. So while we're wrapping up litigation for one issue that we had, this is with old management. The judge asked to see me. He was like, hey, I heard you want to get emancipated. He was like, I know enough about your situation, and it's wild. He was like, and it's not just your parents. He's like, everybody. He was like, do you feel like you could handle this? And I'm like, yes, I can. You know, he was like, do you feel safe if I were to grant this emancipation that you would go home?
That's real.
And my brother, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can. You know, I think my mom will be very, very mad, but I'm doing this for my family.
Right.
So he grants it. My brother, he tells her.
Your brother's older than you or younger?
He's older than me.
Okay.
So he tells, I'm like,
Nigga,
you know, like, you don't even, I ain't even told you about some stuff that I didn't tell him. So he told on me, and she corners me, my mom, and I love you, mommy. I love you so much. And I understand because she's like, I'm losing my child.
Of course.
But anyway, I'm hearing from executives. I'm not hearing from my friends like, oh yeah, girl, go do it. I'm hearing from executives.
Damn.
So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, Christian told me that you talked to the judge about getting emancipated because you told him. She was like, Tiffany, like, why? No, don't consider that. She was like, cause no. She was just not having it. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I lied to her. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna go to Atlanta, record the second album, and you know, I'm gonna be down there with a chaperone, you know, so I'm gonna be good. Went down to Atlanta. He granted the emancipation. And that was like, she was like, oh my gosh, you did this for real?
Even after you told her you didn't.
But I went down there thinking that I'm doing the right thing for my family. I'm like, I'm about to get this out. Because at this point, the label's not budging on a budget. Right. So my manager at the time's thinking, if you record, we can get them to support this project because this project's going to be so dope. Right. You know, we have a great idea behind it. I'm just going to surprise them with it. Yeah. We did all that recording at the studio, accumulated a huge bill, and they was like, no.
She said, surprise.
She said, surprise, and they said no. But I came down to Atlanta, and everybody left and moved somewhere else. So I was in Atlanta.
By yourself?
By myself, but.
At what age?
16.
16. Wow.
15, turning 16.
Wow.
Got my own place. And didn't know how to pay no bills or nothing, but everybody left. Right. Not to put anybody on blast. Yeah. But everybody left. And I was like, damn, I'm down here by myself. But I did also have someone that was down there with me who I eventually married.
I was going to say, we got to talk about that part of your life, too.
Yeah. I eventually married him when I was 18. He was way older than me.
So that's kind of like your crutch. That's somebody guiding you as to grow up.
I had nobody.
Got you.
But I didn't realize that the reason why my lawyers was okay with pushing this emancipation so much is because my trust fund.
Oh, damn.
When I got emancipated, the trust fund was like almost depleted.
Why?
Because they was like, they hit the judge like, oh yeah, you know, and we've been financially struggling, and so you know, we want at least 60,000.
Your parents?
No.
The label?
The lawyers.
The lawyers
who represented me.
Wow.
Who pushed for emancipation as well. Who convinced me that being emancipated is a good idea. I'm believing everybody. I'm 15 at this point.
Yeah, that's
you like think everybody in your best interest.
I'm like, okay, they know that I'm coming down here for my family. They know that I want to not get dropped so I can continue to sustain what I have, you know, and my family can survive. But I was convinced to do it because they really just wanted a hold of the money.
Was these people white? See, that's why we be y'all make shit so difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the industry. It ain't no color.
They do all of them.
No,
do
it's
white collar crime.
It's white people. But the emancipation, like, so you don't have to have consent from your parents. Like, you can literally just go down there under 18 and ask to be.
That's what Will Smith.
Yeah, I remember Jaden was talking about that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You can literally go to wherever you want to go to if you get emancipated, and you are now responsible for yourself,
Right.
basically.
That's crazy.
Now, I mean, you can't smoke cigarettes if you're not old enough.
Yeah.
You know, but you can literally, so you can go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You can show that you're responsible. But I didn't really pick up. And the response, everything that I had gone through, y'all, is so complicated. So I want to say, like, my parents did the best that they could.
Absolutely.
I also believe that I ran into people that I was not supposed to run into, who were predators. And
Hell yeah.
because I was not protected, I just made decisions based on because I'm 15, you know what I'm saying? So even though I'm the primary source of income, I still have to grow here.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm growing because I'm always on the road. I didn't have a normal childhood, but still, y'all, just because you're working and you're on the road doesn't mean that you've developed here. You have experienced some things that makes you more mature and not the average child. But I didn't realize until I got older. I'm like, damn, girl, you really got robbed. That's really what happened. And you got sold some dreams to benefit other people. I protected some people in the process. And I haven't spoken about a lot of things because people know people.
Right.
Yeah.
And even when you know you have been tormented and traumatized and hurt, people don't want to let you get that off your chest.
Yeah, so there was some stuff that we aired out recently, right? And for so long, I was like, didn't want that drama to come with it or nothing, right? But then it also was like, I could speak my truth, my experience, and either somebody it's going to stop somebody else from getting hurt, or I'm going to realize other people can relate to this. And when I did, so many other people was like, that happened to me too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm a strong believer, like, what's for you is going to be for you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I definitely understand trying to have that balance. But also it's like people are getting away with murder and everybody's afraid to talk about because they don't want to be like blackballed or you know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you got to release that, and what's meant for you going to be for you. But I think you even expressing your story, I think we all can like kind of feel the confusion a kid would feel or like there's not one, you didn't make like just one wrong decision or something. It's just like I don't think any of us would know.
I was trying to think hard, y'all, because like I said, I was the primary source of income. Nobody was working.
Yeah.
And when I had to go on the road, I eventually stopped going on the road with my parents, with my dad specifically, when I was 11, 12 years old.
Wow.
So I was going out with my assistant. My parents eventually started staying home.
Damn.
So I just, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm making the right decision, when it comes to this. Like, I know my mom got a lot of weight on her. She's trying to care for all the kids, but I don't want to get dropped. So I want to make this work. And so I asked for the emancipation because I was fearful that would happen. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking my life is over. When you feel like you lived 9 lives already, you feeling like your life is over already. It's like
at 16.
At 16, because you're not thinking that, damn, you really do have a long way to go. I've been through a lot already.
Right.
So I'm like, this is the end of the road for me if I get dropped.
Yeah.
And so I ended up, moving to Atlanta. We did that album. The label didn't accept it. I still was signed. Didn't have that management anymore. So I was down there by myself, and then but I was also with someone, like I said, I wasn't supposed to be with. And they asked me to work with Matthew. And it was like, okay, like
we still in that.
No. I didn't forget. I got you. I ain't forget.
So we worked with Matthew. He flew me down. We had a conversation. He's like a therapist almost. Like,
I can see that.
Yeah, when you talk to him, he's very, very intellectual. Very educated on a wide range of topics, and he has experience, of course. Yes. And so he was just like, yeah, remember, I had a meeting with you when you were 12 years old. And he was like,
it's crazy.
He was like, the reason why I didn't want to work with you then is because, somebody on your team said that you were like their ATM machine.
Damn.
And
I'm out too. That's the perfect thing to scare somebody away.
And he was like, I could never think of my child like that. You know, I would never think of people, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I could never put my child in that position. He was like, so I backed out. But he was like, you don't look like what you've been through. He was like, I feel like, you know, you have so much potential. And we worked, but we had two different visions.
What was his vision for
His vision for me was to sing, and then to air out my grievances.
Hey, we be tuned into them.
But it was like at a time
Confessions.
where I wasn't ready to air out my grievances.
Understood.
Because again, I'm like, I can't tell. Like, I did this one song called Breakaway. And the label latched onto that record. He played it. He was like, this is Tiffany's story. But everybody who had been around, who had loved me genuinely at the label, knew that this was my story. And they knew it was facts. So they're like, oh, we all cried in a meeting. Like, you know, this is like really her story, we know. And I'm like, yeah, y'all, I can't put that out. I was like, I can't put that out. Because I'm like saying things that I'm just like, if you once you say this and you put this out. That's it.
It's like that Kelly Rowland and Dirty Laundry. We was tuned in. We was listening to every line.
Run that back.
It was dirty laundry for real, and it was very painful. And so I'm like, you know what? I just don't feel like being down right now. Like I want to dance. I want to make people see me for who I've always wanted to see me as, and I started working with different producers and get my own records. And then I remember one time we were supposed to have a label meeting, but he had one separately and I had one separately. And I'm like, this is the records I got for me. You know what I'm saying? And I had that meeting and they're like, oh my gosh, and you can dance. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
She in that office.
I'm like, I did promise ring.
Right. Like, see that shit?
Like, y'all.
Hello.
Okay, so they're like, but it's now I'm moving a lot better because I'm more, I'm more rehearsed. So I'm playing these records and they're in tune and they're like, yeah, this is what we want. We could save that other stuff, but we want you to have fun right now.
Okay.
And it was conflicting, and so it was like we had to part ways. But I definitely learned a lot from him. Very powerful man. And
She like, look, I'm gonna keep his name clean, okay? I feel that shit.
But no,
separated the bullshit.
Mr. Knowles.
That part.
Powerful
Respect
man,
that
very
part.
educated, and look, he's responsible for Destiny's Child and Beyonce. So
That part.
Yeah.
Well, another person you mentioned was Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Okay, because you was
Oh
in
my
Diary
God.
Mad Black Woman. Come
Yeah,
on, that's
that's
my
true.
movie. And
That's
you were
true.
strong in that movie. You was a strong little kid. There's a lot going on in your
That's
life.
true.
So, what was your experience working with him? Because nowadays we are hearing like conflicting stories about how he is as far as working with. So, what was your experience with working with Tyler Perry?
He's amazing.
Okay.
Very powerful man.
Good man, Savannah.
He's a good man. Very powerful man, and I feel like he uses his power for good a lot.
That's good.
I respect that.
And so this situation occurred when I had appeared. After I had appeared on Oprah for the second time.
Come on, second time.
So
Not the
I
first
was
time.
young, y'all. I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And he was doing his first film, looking for someone to play his daughter.
Yeah.
And Oprah made the connect. That's what I heard.
Shout out to
Oprah
Oprah.
made the connect.
Oprah with the layup.
Oprah made the
Televised.
connect.
Come on, Allie. Who about Oprah?
She made the connect, and then it was like I was there, and then
That's hard.
I went to record Father Can You Hear Me?
Hey,
Yes.
that
And
song
then
is
he
He
Yeah.
was there in the
different.
studio, and he was just
Oh,
like,
dope.
he was like, oh my God, like, I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm like, I'm happy to be here. I'm a kid at this point, so I'm still digesting everything. But we did that, and I was really excited to be a part. And I think something happened with the lawyers that I was working with that helped me with emancipation later. They pressed him for something after we had agreed on something.
That sounds like some lawyer shit.
That dude sound like some
That's
lawyer
their
shit.
job,
Trying to
man.
renegotiate
Yep.
a few things because she's hot.
But it was like, I felt like that ruined something.
Yeah, that's tough.
And not for me in a sense that he would look at me like, oh, this is a child and she's making these decisions. Yeah. But, you know, because everybody knew I'm not making any decisions. Yeah. Everybody's right. making decisions for me.
I'm just showing up and
even
singing.
when I'm like, I don't want this. I can be behind a glass wall and I'm like, and everybody's like, yeah, she's not making those decisions. Yeah. But, damn. And then that was that.
Yeah.
So, but not to say that, you know, it won't be reconnected. I love Tyler. I was
gonna ask, like, have y'all got to talk later on and express?
No. Filming a movie up the street too. That's great.
Right, put it to the studio, like.
I know. I mean, I feel like it's gonna happen.
Father, can you?
Absolutely.
I hope it does. I mean, I'm gonna
start singing out.
Right.
I know
I
that.
need some love today, Tyler.
Because. I've been down for so long. I know.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, like, I do feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's a great man. I do feel like, and I want to say this, he gets a lot of, you know, Black Twitter be cutting up.
They do.
And I'm like, y'all stop. Because
y'all crazy.
At what point did we see Black actors and actresses getting to shine?
Mm-hmm.
We always shit on our
that
own.
they was getting in the 90s,
in
in the early 2000s. We wasn't getting that for a certain period of time.
Exactly.
And this man came into this industry, the film industry, and flipped it upside down. Literally. And he's literally reusing the same people that he grew up with or, you know, worked with in the past, and he's giving them opportunities to continue to have work.
Paying them correctly.
We need to stop talking about the wigs because, y'all, this is the acting world.
Right.
This is the acting world. The movies are good. They are. Like, okay, we're talking about Black women's stories. Black women's stories need to be heard.
Correct.
Black
the good,
men's
the bad,
stories
the ugly.
need to be heard.
Yes.
Black family stories need to be heard. And then the
Facts.
ones that y'all think is a little outlandish and crazy, they need to be heard too.
Correct.
He's a filmmaker. Let him be creative.
People just always are going to have something to say.
Hey, it's like, yo, we never satisfied, but we be
shit
tuned
on
in.
our own. Exactly.
Yeah, like, but I just feel like he has really, like, done so much.
Yeah, for sure.
For the Black community.
Absolutely.
Who loves the arts.
Yeah.
You know, because who was doing it for us?
No, that's true.
So we need to give Tyler Perry his just.
That's real.
You know,
That's real.
Yeah.
Now, Tiffany, one of my favorite songs that I play to this day that I love, you and Kwony Cash, the Push Up record.
Oh, really?
That's my shit.
How you be listening to it in the shower?
I know that I drive you crazy. There ain't nobody like me.
That is so funny.
That is my shit.
Yeah.
Can we get a visual?
Well, if he want one, I mean, he really has shown that he is like a fan outside of that feature alone. So shout out to Kwony Cash.
Shout out to Kwony.
He's been so dope. He's a great producer as well.
Yeah, Kwony the shit. Kwony the shit.
I'm like, you produced? He just sent me something the other day. I'm like, man,
Kwony that nigga.
Okay, I might need to hit you up, but I don't know. You might need to hit him.
Hey, now that's my song, girl. That's my song.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we're gonna connect the dots.
Yeah, connect the dots.
But I say that to say, like, talk about coming out of your musical hiatus to get back into music, and you independent and the vibe for the new record.
Well, you know, I've always been working.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, it's like figuring out the right formula, even though to the masses they're not seeing you and what's going on. You're still figuring out like how to correct the recipe. And so for all this time I was correcting the recipe and having kids, but
they were part of the recipe, okay?
They so respectful recipe, baby. But
they so sweet and very well mannered too.
So can we have a water? I'm like,
yes, they a lot, but so in terms of the music, like right now I'm in such a confident space.
Amen.
I know how I know my sound. I know how I sing. I know how I want to sound on a record. I engineer myself a lot of the time.
Okay.
The record, I engineered that.
That's a fucking vibe, y'all.
But you know, I didn't mix it though. But I engineered it though. I recorded myself. You know, that's cool. But I wouldn't have known how to engineer if it wasn't for Jawan Harris. Jawan Harris taught me how to do that because everybody was trying to gatekeep and they wouldn't.
Damn.
Yeah, that's also my BD. But so shout out to Jawan. But basically,
He a powerful man.
Okay. No, he get on my nerves. But seriously though, like I'm confident in who I am musically. Now I am still getting myself on track, like in terms of like training. You know, I'm training. I'm back in training. So I'm in the gym. I'm here with it. Like, I'm like, okay, so when I do this for real again, I want to show these folks that this is who I always wanted to be.
So I have a question. It's kind of random, right? But all right. Did you ever consider coming out under a different name?
You know what's so crazy? Yes.
Because I'm asking you that, right? Because you appear to be so young.
Yeah.
And got such a great voice and stuff, where sometimes if you hear a name, you relate it to back then. And then it just sounds like but you could be a brand new artist, kind of like how Money Long did, that you ain't know she was Priscilla. You know what I'm saying?
True. I honestly, like, okay, so now that I dropped this new record, I had Go To and I talked about it so much. I'm like, you know, I feel like this name, it comes up and people are like, oh, this is legendary. And then I'm like, no.
It's a whole new person.
I'm a whole new person. Okay, do I need to drop my last name? You know, do I need to go by Tiffany? And they're like, no, go by I'm like, so I'm finding, I got a clever way that I'm going to do a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but the music is there. But I'm like, it's too late right now because I dropped Would You.
Yeah. Hey, it's
not good. Yeah.
No, it's not. And
Yeah.
it's a bop.
It's
So
a bop.
it's like, now it's about how do I present myself? Because people are going to want to hear, they're going to see my face. And
I'm telling you, like, it's kind of like having all the experience but being a new artist.
Yes, I
you know
feel
what I'm
that
saying?
way. I feel that way.
So,
I feel like I have so much to do.
I think it's something to consider. Not because, like, there's tarnish on your name or nothing, but just because, you can have a whole new beginning.
Absolutely.
For yourself.
And I don't
you know
have to talk about it.
Right. We love your story, but if you let everything out here, then you could just be like, go there to watch it.
No,
that's true.
We still want
That's
the
true.
grievances.
You haven't done the interview in a minute.
Well, not like this, no.
Yeah.
Not where it's this in depth. I have not expressed any of this
intimate
stuff
vibes.
at all.
Yeah.
So, I will say that is something that I have considered, and I already started like working on, but I just don't know how I'm gonna run the play yet.
Yeah.
But I just, cause it's so much weight behind the name, good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that it's tarnished,
Right.
like Tiffany's tarnished, but just the experiences and what they know. You know, it's so much weight behind it. And I'm like, okay, how do I, let these people know? Like, I just gotta hit them over the head with good shit.
You got the talent, so
thank you.
That
And
part.
the looks,
Thank you.
Hello.
And like, so just real quick, have you given yourself grace? Because it's not like when you talk about the past, it's like there's so much pain there, which we can feel. But have you given yourself that grace yet?
I don't think I have. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being totally honest. I don't think I have. I feel like I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I hold myself responsible for everything, and so it's like being in a relationship where you like give your all and you give your all and you give your all, and then one day they wake up and they're like, oh, I just don't want to be with you anymore. Not you. It's still not gonna stop you from thinking that it's something wrong with you.
Hey, but everything happens for a reason, and what's meant to be going to be. And I think there is a part that you gotta release all that and start your new journey. Because I could imagine just thinking about how you could have made any of those 1,000 decisions would have changed your scenario. But
all the time.
You still here, you still sing, you still look beautiful. So I think you do gotta release that.
Yes, please. And I'm glad I was able to do some of that today.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Come on
we
now.
felt that energy.
Yeah.
Nah, you got to give yourself that grace. Okay, look.
I got too happy with bring this bill, y'all.
Okay, so
I'ma hear
look.
that all day.
We got two questions in one. One, I want you to tell your day one fans and just people that's been supporting you, just a message from you. And then secondly, our keyword here is progress. So I need you to define our keyword progress.
Okay, so the message from me to my day ones, I call them teacups.
Okay.
Teacups.
That is cute.
I had to figure it out for a long time. I was
like
coming
that.
up with it was getting crazy. It was getting wild. But I just want to say, y'all, like, thank y'all for being, a part of the journey for as long as you've been. And this time, I don't know what the future holds, but I know what I'm doing. I bet on myself. And so I know that the music is great. I'm going to give you guys great visuals, great performances, and I just hope you guys stay tuned because regardless, it's still a new beginning for me. So
That part.
and then
Keyword.
define
Our
progress.
keyword, progress.
So progress is, waking up every day and doing something that putting one foot in front of the other. Putting one foot in front of the other and not giving up on yourself. Like just deciding that you're going to be in control of your life. And honestly, y'all, it may feel like when we go through things that we're not in control. And some things we're not in control of. But you are truly in control of your mindset. And it all starts in the mind. Everything is a mind game. So if you can believe that you can be in a great space, that you can put yourself in a great environment, even though you may not be in the best environment or you may not be in the best mood, if you can believe that you can get there, that's progress. So have grace with yourself. I know I sound like a hypocrite. Have grace with yourself and know that we all striving for something. And,
that's real. And
don't ever compare yourself to the next person because our journeys are unique. Just put one foot in front of the other.
Love that.
Hello.
Tyler Perry, come on, Tiffany, y'all.
The one and only Tiffany fucking Evans.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Love y'all.
This was
Damn,
dope,
I
girl.
appreciate you.
And you are welcome up here anytime.
Absolutely.
Salute to your team too, because
Yeah.
nothing goes unnoticed. We see how y'all got the kids. So salute to y'all.
I love y'all so much. Thank
Salute.
you.
So we got a progress report for you, and then we got some gifts off air. But this was an amazing episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is for you, ma'am.
Oh, yay.
You got to show your kids.
Show the
like,
kids
right?
that
Like,
that's
this
my
is what you
energy.
need. Okay.
Correct. You
That
feel me?
part.
I love it. Thank
Well, it's
y'all
the
so
progress
much.
report, y'all. We are out.
Love y'all.
Yes.
Hey.
The Progress Report.